Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I have lots of different categories of things to talk about, so I hope I can keep everything straight. But I want to start out with just some news about some updates of fabric that we just got back in. So those of you who are members of So Confident probably already know this, but those of you who are not members of So Confident and are looking at our kits, we have this fabric back in, which is the tone-on-tone matelassé in the oatmeal color and the black, just rolled in the door this morning. So we have now put these kits back on the website. They were so popular in January when we first put them out that we brought them out again. So I hope you'll take a look at the sterling jacket, which has become a really, really popular, easy jacket to wear and to make, and take a look at the oatmeal in the black color. And then for March, you may recall that we introduced the Crane Street tee. And this is this tee that has this interesting back to it, divided into 3 sections. We're using a rib knit in the center and a cotton knit or a bamboo rayon knit for the other parts of the t-shirt. The March design was for short sleeves. We still have kits, by the way, of many of the colors that were introduced for the Crane Street. But I don't know why these are so wonky on the hangers. I didn't check that very well. Anyway, so April's kit and class is all about using the Crane Street tee for a sweatshirt in a French terry in either white, ivory, or black. We have some kits available, and you can see that there's an embroidery design done by hand that's part of the class for April. And I just want to show you that if you order one of the kits, you get all the little goodies in a little sack, and the goodies are quite extensive actually. You get some pearl cotton, some red wool yarn for one of the flowers, some silk thread, both on a little card and in another form, some 4-ply fabulous embroidery thread that we get from France, all kinds of other little goodies to wrap your threads on. So check out, and the scrap fabrics already cut for you to use as the flower appliques. So that kit is full of all kinds of goodies, and it's fun to open up that sack and get them out and really start to look at them. So one big announcement is we are having a bit of trouble on our website if you are trying to place an order on an iPhone. We think it's only iPhone. It's possible that it's on an iPad as well, but it's an Apple device, primarily iPhones, and the loading of our website is extremely slow. So if you're trying to place an order or look at our website on an iPhone, possibly on an iPad, give it some patience, or just go to another device. Go to your laptop, desktop, possibly iPad, and things will load better. For some reason, our technicians are working on this. We're not sure what's going on, but it is happening on iPhone platform. So just be patient with us. We are in the mode of fixing it, and we'll hear from them hopefully sooner rather than later. But in the meantime, if you're really having problems and that's the only device that you have and you're trying to place an order, either be patient or just give us a call and place an order by phone. We are happy to take your order in that way as well. You can also email us. We'll sort it out. We don't want you to be frustrated. Just know that it's really, really slow at the moment. All right, so you know that I am a Wall Street Journal Saturday fashion style reader. And this particular Saturday, I was especially interested in an article, Why the Nimble Ballet Flat is on Point Again. Now, I've been saying to myself for years, back in junior high, I used to wear Capezio flats, very soft, buttery leather that had fringe, and I had them in lots of colors. To me, that's an iconic shoe, and I've never seen it come back. But in a way, it has come back. So this is a story about lots of designers, but one in particular by the name of Claire McCardell. So Claire McCardell is an American designer back in the 40s, and she's really known, number one, for her popover dress. She made this dress very famous. And I love the fact that this dress was designed for the socialite who was forced to do her own wartime housework. And so it is styled with a pot holder in her right hand. And the big pocket on this popover dress is a quilted piece of fabric like a pot holder. So she sold 75,000 of these dresses in the first year at $5.95 in 1948. So there you go. And since I know when I was born, this dress is 73 years old. But Clara McCardell wanted to produce a casual lifestyle of clothing for people, including shoes. And at the time, in wartime, all of the manufacturers of shoes were having a problem getting materials. And so there were restrictions on what could be designed and sold. But there were no restrictions on ballet shoes. And so Clara McCardell took advantage of that and had access to leather that was made for the ballet world, and she designed the ballet flat. Well, ballet flats have been around forever, in the 17th century and on, but we probably know them more as Audrey Hepburn, Bridget Bardot. I can still see them in the little skinny pencil pants and their little flat ballet shoes. But she put them into fashion, and they're back. Chanel, Margot New York, Tory Burch, Celine, all of the designers are using ballet flats. So in honor of Clara McCardell and the return of the ballet flat and comfort, I pulled out my vintage flats, sort of ballet flat. I couldn't find my old Capezios. Clara McCardell had, do I need to hold my foot up? I don't know if you can see it or not. But Clara McCardell had hooked up with Capezio at the time, and that is who produced the ballet flat for Clara McCardell. So she made it famous, comfort flats. I love this line. This is a great line in the Wall Street Journal. So they were designed, there's an association with sort of this French girl shoe, Audrey Hepburn and all that. But once World War II ended, it was seen more as anti-fashion than high fashion. So in 1948, when fashion magazines were promoting slim, slightly tapered high heels, one journalist wrote that women's ongoing penchant for flat shoes was A, causing their feet to get bigger, and B, aesthetically offensive, gigantic flat feet which shuffle blithely around the streets. The worst offenders, grubby ballet slippers. So no wonder teenage girls loved them. I had a pair that I was pulled out this morning to wear. I hadn't read every little word in that article yet, and they were kind of grungy, so I put them aside and put them away. Well, now I realize I should have worn them. They would have been right in style. So dig out your Capezios, your flats, your ballet slippers. If you're an old ballerina, get those out, wear them on the streets. They're back in fashion. As well as the platform sandal. We were just talking about that earlier. That's competing for the flat ballet shoe. But everything is flat. And we're all back to flat shoes, as I think our audience is, and I have been for years, frankly. All right, today we're going to talk about a particular fabric. And I am always on the hunt for fabric that is super drapey, has a weighty drape to it, is easy care, makes you lose 10 pounds in the mirror when you make a pair of pants. And so I ordered in some fabric that I hadn't used before. But I discovered over the weekend when I made my Picasso pants that I have on that I'm in love with this fabric. It is a crepe fabric. It is viscose and polyester and spandex. So it's very spongy. And just like a crepe, it has that matte, slightly textured finish to it. So I took home some of the yardage, threw it in the washing machine, expected it to shrink because crepes generally do, because of the way a crepe is manufactured, it tends to shrink up, and when you press it, it gets bigger again, and that did not happen. This fabric did not shrink. at all from what I could tell. Now, I didn't measure every little 1/8 inch, but unlike what I tell you to do, which is to throw in the 4-inch square and test it, I, of course, just threw all the yardage in like all of you do and hoped for the best. And, of course, I thought, oh, my gosh, I hope I have enough fabric. But I did. It worked out just fine. Didn't shrink. Didn't change character. It's fabulous. And when I pressed it, it didn't shrink up, didn't show iron marks. It was really a beautiful fabric to work with. One of the things I love the most about it is that this fabric does not wrinkle. It has just enough polyester in it that you get that advantage of using polyester. Not everybody likes polyester, but if you have some amount of polyester in a fabric, it reduces the likelihood that it's going to wrinkle, and that's what happens in this fabric. But you have the advantage of the viscose in it, which is, I think, the predominant. I need to look at this just to make sure. 63% polyester, 33% viscose, and the rest is spandex. So not only does it have spandex in it, but it has mechanical stretch as well. So it's a very forgiving fabric, and it has complete recovery. So this fabric is not going to bag out like some fabrics that have either just mechanical stretch or too much spandex. So it was an easy sew. I chose to use my standard seam finish, which is sew on the seam line and then use my 3-thread stitch formation on my serger to finish the seam. That turned out great, no puckering whatsoever. I always have a little bit of a tussle with myself, a little conversation with myself about what kind of thread I should use. So I have this mantra that I use cotton thread on woven fabrics and polyester thread on knit fabrics. This fabric is just stretchy enough that I thought, I'm wondering if I should use polyester thread. But it's a woven fabric, and so I stayed with what I preach all the time, and I used cotton thread, and it all worked out just fine. I don't really like polyester thread on woven fabrics because it's like a little thin wire that's on the surface of the fabric, and it doesn't meld and become integral part of the fabric. So cotton thread for me, our standard 50 weight, cotton thread. I did use a walking foot. I engage my even feed foot on machine all the time. I think that this fabric would have a tendency, because it's a little bit spongy, would creep on you just a little bit, so I used a walking foot. I did some top stitching on this. I pulled out a pair of pants in pink linen, actually, so that you can actually see some of the elements of this pant. There is some top stitching across this seam here. So there's a horizontal seam before these lantern shapes occur on the Picasso pants. And there's a top stitching line right here. I can see right now that this is top stitched on the top side and mine is top stitched on the bottom side. That's because I didn't follow the directions or even read them. I don't think it matters. But nevertheless, I had no trouble top stitching this because I was using a walking foot or my even feed feature. So I had no puckering on this fabric whatsoever. This is a pant that is really in style, has stayed in style. It's been around for a little while. It's one of our most popular patterns. We rarely put it on sale like we're going to do this week, but it is a pant that I particularly love. I think that it looks very slim. People look at this and think, well, that would add weight because of the shape, but if you put it in the right fabric, such as the fabric that I'm promoting today, I guarantee you will feel like $1,000,000 in this. It just falls and you feel really skinny inside of this fabric. But you have to have enough ease in this pant, and I think people tend to make this pant too small. You want a certain amount of ease. I have a good 6 inches of ease in this pant, and I think that is great for the way this drapes. So don't make this too small. Don't make it hug. Allow it to fall and drape. It also has a pretty deep stride, which I don't change. I happen to know that my standard stride is 27 inches on a pant. This probably has 28 or 29 inches. I haven't really measured it, but I know it's deeper than some of my other pants, and that allows for the whole pant to just hang and really look slim. But when you pull in the bottom with these lantern shape or wedge shape pieces, then that changes the profile of a full pant and actually is slimming. I think I've mentioned a couple of times that I needed to lengthen my Picasso pants by 1 inch, which I did in this pair. And so I'm wearing it about 1 inch above my ankle. I found that my other ones that I had shortened were just too short. And so I feel like this is a better length for me, particularly with my ballet flats. I love the waistband. It is a flat waistband across the front with elastic around the back. So that's very comfortable and very flattering. It also has a couple of tucks right here that I think are like a traditional trouser. So you have a little bit of fullness, and so that allows you the fabric to fall over your tummy a little bit more. I repeat this a lot with pants. I get a lot of pictures from people who send me photographs of their pants or their muslins or whatever, and a lot of issues with pants fittings can be solved with the set of the waistband. Excuse me. So I always encourage you, if you're not sure where you are on the fit of your pants, to always cut the pants 3 or 4 inches taller, and then before you put the elastic on into the pants, or put the waistband on actually, you put these pants on, you put your 1 inch elastic around your waist, and you begin to shift the fabric until there are no wrinkles, particularly in the back when you get these diagonal wrinkles like that. That means it's hanging up on the high hips, so you want to just push that fabric down until the wrinkles are gone. And that means that when you cut your waistband, you're going to have a straight waistband, but the top of your pants is going to be dipped and high and low and whatever you are. No one that I know of can set a waistband just flat all the way around and get away with that. So just know that a lot of fitting problems can be handled by putting that elastic around your waist, chalk marking underneath the elastic, taking that off, shoring up that line, and then adding your 5/8 inch seam allowance to that. Cut off the excess of the 3 or 4 inches that's left, or maybe there wouldn't be very much at the back, let's say, or at the high hips. And then take those fabric pieces, lay them on your pattern, and cut away what you don't need of your pattern, and you never have to think about it again. So just remember that final step of applying that waistband is a key part of fitting pants. But fit these pants kind of loose. Don't be too tight about them. People ask me about pockets in these. Because this has a side panel to it, there's no place for a side seam pocket unless you want to put a single welt pocket at the side, which is fine. But I find that if you put a pocket right here in this front seam, a seam pocket, it's a perfect place for a pocket. And you can borrow a pocket piece from other patterns and just use that. Or you can just draw one on your own depending on the size that you want. But it's a great place for a pocket. Some people don't like this horizontal seam. You can eliminate that. You can take each one of these bottom pattern pieces and actually tape them to the top pieces. So you get the same shape, but you don't have that seam. If you don't want that seam, you can have a full 3 panels instead of 3 panels and 3 bottom panels. So just know that you can eliminate that. So I think that's all my little issues about the fabrics. We have any questions so far?
We do, actually. I wasn't prepared for that. They do want to know how tall you are. Can you repeat
I am 5'6".
And then, the fabric, how did you dry it?
I dried it in the dryer on a sort of normal setting. Nothing special about that. Washed and dried it on my normal settings.
Okay. And then, what size pants did you make?
I make an extra small. I do make an extra small in the width, but I go to a medium in the height because I want a deeper stride. So they're cut at a medium tall, extra small width.
Could you use this crepe for pencil pants?
That's a good question. Pencil pants, I don't think so. I don't think it has quite enough stretch. Maybe if I were making them a little bit larger, you might be able to. You might have to go up, a half a size. as I say, cut them fat, so to speak. If you're normally a medium, cut a medium and a half or something like that. Probably. I'm guessing. I haven't done it. I'm guessing.
How much ease should you have for the Hudsons?
Oh, about 6 inches, 4 to 6 inches for the Hudsons.
So about the same.
About the same, yeah.
Okay. Are the waistband and elastic tips that you gave in the Picasso pattern?
The waistband tips in terms of this.
Right, well, you just were explaining about the waistband and the elastic and trying it on.
No, that's not. But that technique is in the fashion fitting encyclopedia in the pants fitting category. That is something you should do for all pants, not just the Picassos. Every elastic waistband should, I think, is, once you get it established, you're there. But on every first time on any pants pattern, I think you should do that.
What top pattern are you wearing? And
yeah, I was just going to say that. I'm wearing the Splice top. I'm getting ready for summer, so this sleeve length is great for summer. The slightly more open neck is great. But I love the idea that you have the splices on the side, that you can use some contrasting fabric, and the front and back are just a little bit longer than the side pieces. So I love this pattern. You know, it's fitted through the bust and the shoulders, and then a little fuller in the hip. And then I think that the Picasso pants look good with this top as well. This is the Hugo top, and this has a nice, interesting double concealed placket with a decorative button at the top. So it has a facing at the neckline. It has some bands at the sleeve, 3-inch bands or so. But both of these tops, to me, have the right proportions for simple summer tops. Of course, you can wear these under jackets for any other time of the year, but the right proportions for Picasso pants. I think if you wear something too long with the Picassos, you're in trouble. I think this is about as long as you can go, because you want to see the shape of these pants. If you get too much longer, then you see the fullest part of the pant and you're just looking full all over.
So what is the fabric for your top and the Hugo top?
These are linen and silk.
Could you use a ponte for the Picasso pants?
Absolutely. My black pair is out of ponte, and I love them. Now, you're not going to get that same kind of weighty drape with ponte. We do have a lightweight ponte that is very drapey, and it's very nice. The more heavyweight pontes, there's a difference in pontes in some are drapier than others. If you have trouble with that and you want to know which pontes would be appropriate, you might want to call us or email us, because there are some that would be better than others. But yes, my favorite black Picasso pants are in ponte knit.
Who makes your shoes?
These shoes, well, they're not Capezios, I can tell you that. Actually, there's a theory, Robiton, and this is a foot doctor in Los Angeles, as I understand it, who designs these shoes. And these are very old, but very comfortable, and they have that ballet look to them. But it has this cute little heel on it, kind of a round heel.
What colors does the crepe come in?
I'm going to show you that. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay, there's 2 more questions in.
Okay.
You mentioned you were talking about the pencil pants for the fabric. What about the helix pants?
The same thing. I would just be sure you have enough ease. Maybe go up half a size or size even, particularly in the hips.
Do you cut the fabric several inches taller with every pair you make?
No, just the first time. And then once I have marked the pair and added my seam allowance and cut off the remaining top part of the pants, I put those scraps back on my pattern and cut off my pattern, and then I never have to do it again.
Is the Picasso pants based off the old trio pant?
Yes, that was the starting point for us. We took the trio pants that had the side panel. They had cargo pockets on them. We eliminated the pockets. So it's the same fit. If you have perfected the fit of the trio pants, you're going to be fine with the same fit. And all we did was add the lantern shapes at the bottom. I believe they might be a little bit slimmer at the bottom. I kind of can't remember, but something tells me that we slimmed them down just a little bit. But the fit of the waist and hips and crotch and all of that are absolutely the same.
Someone says, is this a kit? We don't really have any kits.
No, we don't have kits for these pants. But, you know, you could remember that you can always order thread as part of your order. There's a drop down for the number of spools of thread that you need. And if you need elastic, you can add that to your order. So it could be a kit. We'll put it in the bag for you.
How does the fit for the Picasso compare to the Hudson?
Pretty similar, really. I wear the same size Hudsons and Picassos. The Picassos tend to be a little deeper in the crotch than the Hudsons. So when I make the Hudsons, I have to go even higher, add a little more length in the stride. But other than that, hip and waist-wise, they're very close.
Do you think this pants fabric would be too hot for summer?
Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, granted, there's a fair amount of polyester in it, but I feel like with the style of them and the airiness of them, I think I'm going to be okay. I'll let you know in August, I guess.
Okay, that's all I see right now.
Okay. All right, so pulled out some fabrics that I think would be great for the pants. We have the crepe in 4 colors, and then we have another one that has a little more polyester in it. And then I put some coordinating pieces to go with them in cotton and linen to go with the colors for splices, Hugos, whatever you want to make. So let's start with down here. This is a charcoal that has a heather texture to it. So if you look at it, it's not solid charcoal. It has a bit of a fleck to it. But as you can see, you know, it has that good mechanical stretch and that super drape to it. So I put this linen with it, which I just love. It's a very abstract linen, sort of a pointillist design in a wavy design. I love this, but this is linen, as is this one. Now this is one of these Japanese linens. I'm going to get it down here, by Naomi Ito. So these are always very special, and we only get just so much of these, and then when they're gone, they're gone. We never can get any more. But this has this has a whole kind of width of design, but you can see it has this wonderful little flower sprig on it, and this is even a little bit different. So they're really beautiful linens. And we have a fair amount of this, but it is the last of it that we'll get. So then we have another charcoal that is all polyester, actually. This is not the crepe. This is more of a twill, and this is solid charcoal. This is not the fleck like this. And you can see it's a little different charcoal. This has a little bit of a musk, I guess I'll call it, flavor to it. A little different. This is more seriously charcoal, and this is gray. Then you have the navy that I have on. Again, you can see the flow of it. This is one of my favorite cottons. I love geometrics, and this is a cotton fabric. I love the selvage. Have to use that somehow, but this is all cotton. I always have to check. Yes, all cotton. Then we do have black in this crepe fabric. Can't have fabric without black, you know. This is a viscose print, and I love it with this. So this would make a fun splice with either the splice in this with the splices in this, or vice versa, or either one of them would make a beautiful Hugo as well. This is a very nice vertical design. Even though it has some horizontal elements, it reads, I think, as a vertical stripe. And then we have this wonderful olive color. And this is a cotton. And this is just a great reproduction of a William Morris classic print in the spirit of Liberty of London, but this is not Liberty of London and is not the price of Liberty London. This is a much less expensive fabric. But it has the classic Old English design to it. This is hanging upside down, so those birds really aren't on their heads. But anyway, good old William Morris classic design. So those are the fabrics. So we have the crepe in black, olive, charcoal, and navy, and then we have this additional super drapey charcoal fabric as well.
Ready for more questions?
I'm ready.
Okay. Somebody asked about the Valencia fabric that we used in December of last year for the kits.
That's this.
Okay. Good eye. I can't remember who that was, but good eye. But the rest of them aren't. That's the only one.
No, these crepes are new. This is the only one that I don't even know if we had this color back during that promotion. We had fuchsia and teal and aqua and whatever they were, gold or mustard, I think. But at any rate, this is the same fabric and just as liquid and just as wonderful.
The upper right or upper left, I guess. That one, is it poplin or sateen or what's?
This is more of a poplin. It's just a good, it's not sateen. It doesn't have a sateen finish to it. It's just a nice cotton. Shirtweight cotton.
How does the cotton print compare to a quilting cotton?
Well, it's the similar weight, but I have to say it's just a little more refined. A little better feel to it. Has a nice smooth finish to it, but it's not satin, but definitely a higher quality.
And then the one behind you?
This one is a little more like a quilt fabric, I suppose. Good quality, but still, this has a little more of a quilt-like flavor than this one does. But the weight is definitely quilt fabric weight.
Back to the blue geometric, which top patterns would you recommend for that one?
I would make a Splice or a Hugo. Either one to me. This could be any kind of shirt. It could be a Florence shirt, a Frankie shirt, Venice shirt. But I like the idea of something like what I have on. You could use this for the Splice and use either solid black or blue or off-white, or even pop it with a color for the side pieces, or just use the same thing, or take this and put it on the horizontal in the side pieces.
So these crepe fabrics, are these something we're going to keep in stock on a regular basis, or will they eventually go away?
Well, if we sell out of some of these, like for instance black, I think we'll reorder the black if we sell out of that. For the time being, I may let the charcoal, the navy, and the olive go and bring it back in the fall. I need to look and see if there are other colors to this. I haven't done that. Maybe there's some other colors we could bring in. But for now, they're probably going to go away through the summer. But it is a fabric that I intend to keep on my radar screen because I love it so much.
Can you point out, I think Betsy linked to this, but can you point out again which gray is the original Valencia fabric and which one is the new crepe?
Yeah. So this is the original Valencia fabric, and this is the new crepe. This is a little bit shinier. In fact, now that I look at this, I think maybe this is the right side of it. It's hard to tell. Yeah, I think it is actually. And then, so this is a little bit lighter weight than this. This has a little heavier drape to it.
All right, would the red-orange print go with the olive crepe?
Absolutely.
I think any of those prints on that side go with the olive.
Yep.
Can you give some suggestions on how to utilize the selvage?
Like something like this?
Yes.
You know, you can always cut a selvage off and reapply it. Now, if I were making, let's say, the Hugo with this, I might engineer something where I could use this selvage down here. I would sew it back in, perhaps. Or I might use it as a little bit of piping, flat piping wherever there's a seam, or maybe bind the sleeve edge of this. For this, I don't know if I'd use it on this. Anything that a shirt that has a placket, I think you could incorporate it into a placket. Top of a pocket, part of a cuff, could be appliqued over something.
Okay. All right, does the side pieces on the splice, do they have to be the same weight and type of fabric as the body?
No, they don't. This could be, in fact, this is linen, this is cotton, this is lighter weight than this. But no, I think you can be completely creative with what you use as the side splice insertion. It could be silk with fleece, it could be anything. I don't think it matters.
The top cotton print, does it also include black so you can pair it with black Picasso bottoms?
I'm not sure which one here, but both of these have black. Mm-hmm. This has a black ground and this is black.
Okay. Can the olive crepe be worn with the green sterling?
With the green sterling? That's a good question. I don't have the green sterling here in the studio. I kind of think it might be able to be. But if you want to email us later, we can check that out when we go back downstairs. I kind of feel like it could be.
Would you line any of these pants?
I wouldn't line any of these pants in this fabric. I wouldn't line Picasso pants probably ever. As I say that, there's always an exception, but it's the kind of pant that's generally, I think of on the casual side, and so I'm not looking for something that has that refinement of a lining. If I were to make the Picassos in some sort of a wool and I didn't want the wool next to my skin, then maybe I would line them, but generally not.
Can you repeat what type of fabric you used for your splice, woven or knit?
My splice is a woven linen and a woven cotton for the splices.
We have made it out of a knit.
Oh yes, it's great in a knit. Mm-hmm. It'd make a great knit shirt. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'd make a great French terry shirt, fleece, ponte, sweater knit. You could lengthen the sleeves if you wanted to. You could change the neckline, add a cowl. You could lengthen this and make a dress. I think Betsy's done that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you check and see how wide the crepe fabric is?
Yeah. "57 inches wide."
Okay. Would the bold geometric look better with black or navy? Oh.
Well, I have it next to navy and I like it. It also would be great with black. There's not really navy in here per se, so if you're someone who needs to match, then put it with black. If you're someone like me who maybe tends to stand back and kind of look at the whole blend of things, I can go either way with it.
Sounds like the perfect colors then. You can go either way.
Yeah.
And I wonder if even you could do the olive that has that taupe.
I don't know.
No.
Do you like that?
Not as much now,
Yeah.
now that I think about it. Never mind. Okay, what other pants would you wear with the Hugo top?
With the Hugo top, I would wear Hudson pants. I would wear Madrid pants, Hollywood pants, Valencia pants, getaway jeans. I think all of our pants styles would go with the Hugo. I can't think of one that I wouldn't wear. What do you think, Erin?
I think so.
Yeah.
It has just the right.
This top is simple and yet has just enough detail, I think, to make it a little more interesting than just an off-the-rack plain old thing. So, yeah, I think any of our pants patterns. I know in the summertime, at least last summer, I wore the Hugo a lot with my Hudson pants. It seemed to be a thing for me.
And I think if the pants are wider, you could even take off maybe an inch or two of the
You could.
length,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it would work.
We've also made this as a dress. So you could wear this as a dress with leggings. Or a tunic with leggings.
And then what size is your Splice? Did you say that?
I have on an extra small, which I was kind of surprised I could get into. I normally make a small, but this is off the rack. And it's pretty okay.
And did we determine whether the sleeves were the length of the pattern?
Yeah, we couldn't decide. They felt like they were short, but I think it's because it's an extra small. And I normally wear a small in this.
You could easily
You
lengthen
could easily
shorten.
lengthen this just a little bit, maybe just a touch.
And is it a boat neck? Would you
It
say it's
is
a boat
a
neck?
boat neck. I mean, this is the shape of the neckline. Yeah,
A little and off the shoulder.
a little bit, about inch and a half off the shoulder.
Okay. Is there a skirt pattern that would go with the Hugo?
Yeah, our 6th Sense skirt would be great. Our 8th Avenue skirt. E-skirt. Probably could wear it with the Eureka skirt.
That's slim enough in the hips. I think you could.
Yeah. We don't talk about that skirt very often, but it's a great skirt. The
Again,
Sandra Betsina wrap skirt's one of my favorite. That would look really nice.
I like that. The
Yeah, I like-
straight, the
yeah.
silhouette of that. I think
I
would
like
be
that.
Nice. Are there vibrant linens like the one Linda is wearing in stock? I wonder if she means the pink linen.
Or this.
Oh, I see. Vibrant as in the print. Yes, that makes sense. Do
We have a lot of printed linens. And I looked at a lot of them yesterday. And I didn't bring them up with these. I'm not sure why. It's sort of another category of fabric that I might talk about at some point. But we have a lot of printed linens.
Could you change the boat neck of the Splice to something smaller?
Sure. If you're changing it smaller, you might have to do a keyhole opening to get it on. But yeah, you could copy. You could probably even do something like the Mix-It little mandarin collar and an opening in the front.
And then make sure to change the facing shape
Yeah.
as well.
Right.
Can you use the crepe for a skirt?
Absolutely. Now this crepe would be great for a Eureka skirt.
It would. That'd be really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like Betsy posted a link to printed linen, so that's nice.
Okay.
Have you altered the Hugo, the sleeve or the bodice length of the Hugo?
No, this is a Hugo straight out of the envelope.
Okay, that's all I see.
All right. Well, for those of you who might have joined us later, I just want to remind you that if you are looking at our site and planning to order anything using an iPhone and possibly an iPad, you're going to have to be patient because for the moment it's loading very, very slowly. And so if you don't want to be patient, then just shift to another device like a laptop or a desktop and place your order that way or give us a call. Our technicians are working on things and we apologize for this. We don't know what's going on, but it's happening. It's been happening the last 3 days and they're still working on it. So hope you won't give up and and I will see you next Tuesday.
Well, let's not.
Oh,
forget
yeah,
to
we gotta talk about
mention
what's on sale.
Everything that's on sale.
That's right. All the fabrics that I've talked about are on sale. The patterns that are on sale this week are the Picasso, the Hugo, and the Splice. Oh, and I forgot to show you the easy threader that I can't even show you to feed the elastic through your Picasso pants. That's on sale.
You want me to go grab one?
Yeah, go grab
one
one.
in the back.
And then we have 2 tutorials. We have the DIY pants fitting tutorial, which does talk about the set of the waistband. I believe that's one of the last pages in the tutorial. And then we have a whole tutorial on making the Hugo top, and it's part of Series 8, So Confident, 3rd quarter, and that deals with how to sew this. And for those of you who have made this, you know that there's a little seam down there that can tend to confuse people, so that's easily identified in that tutorial, and it might help you get through that. But this is the Easy Threader. This is my favorite tool now. So it has this little eye at one end, and I hand sew the elastic to the end of it, and this is what I feed through my casing now for my elastic. And it's just easy peasy. That's why it's called the Easy Threader, and this is on sale.
Okay. I don't see any other questions.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks so much. I'll see you next Tuesday.